Back here on the WVU Coaches Show with junior shortstop JJ Wetherholt. And JJ, before we get started, I just have to know, because I can see your face over there, how long did it take you getting used to walking into this room and seeing your collage over there on the wall?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took me a little bit. I remember when they first sent it to me, I thought they were going to do it like after I was gone, but I showed up the one day and it was there, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, you know, the guys always made fun of me for it, like, oh yeah, we really needed his face up there that big. So, but no, it's funny. It's a pretty cool graphic.
JJ Wetherholt always watching here in this team room. That graphic we're talking about for JJ being named the 2023 Big 12 Conference Player of the Year. And then, of course, you brought that title into this season as well, named that in the preseason. And I'm sure it's probably a bit of an understatement if I said this year hasn't went the way that you probably expected. You played 3 full games, got hurt on that 4th game of the season. And of course, we've seen you plenty of times now since then. But going back to that time in late February, JJ, was there ever a point when you first had the injury that you didn't think you would maybe be back at this point, or thought that you would maybe miss more time than you did?
No, I honestly think I had a pretty good time frame. I thought it'd be like 1-2 months, just depending on how the injury and rehab process went. You know, and it might have slowed down a little bit. Like, I wanted to get out there a little bit quicker, but I was kind of under protocol from doctors. But yeah, I mean, as soon as the injury happened, I kind of just tried to keep my head up and be like, look, I'll just take it one day at a time, and I'll be back out there at some point in the year, just not exactly sure when it would be.
I remember whenever Coach Mazie would always give the injury update on you, he'd say, JJ still can't beat me in a race. How many races did you have to go through with Coach Mazie pregame before you got cleared? There
was a lot, and I mean, I could have beat him earlier than when I did, but part of the reason was because like it wasn't in my rehab to actually like run like that. So if it was a day when I didn't do rehab, then I could beat him, but if it was a day I did do rehab, I couldn't beat him. So it was kind of a little bit, but it took a good while before I could consistently beat him, which is kind of embarrassing.
You and Skip, a race. I think that's something that maybe to end this show, we should do that at the end of the year. Have you and Maze line up, have to run full speed. That would be a sight to see for sure. But whenever you did come back after missing, you know, about 2 months of time, you were in that DH spot for a little bit, and then of course moved back to your natural position out there in the field at shortstop. When you were going through those first couple of games, how different was it having to watch, only being able to be up there as the DH and then having to watch from the dugout? Yeah,
no, it was for sure different. I had DH a little bit in summer ball because I kind of had like a similar leg injury there. But yeah, no, it's like I say, it's not like my full game. My full game's playing the infield, playing shortstop or second, and hitting, and doing pretty much everything I can to try to help the team win. And I saw to do that, and it was more of like the bench side of things, keeping the guys up in the dugout. But yeah, hitting, you only get 2, 3, 4 chances to make an impact if you're lucky. So it's kind of tougher to be yourself when you're just DHing.
You had talked about kind of having that impact in the dugout. Being that you were a person this year coming into that was, you know, essentially the leader of this team, especially filling that role left behind from Tevin Tucker, graduating from this program. During those games that you missed, how active were you, and did that maybe allow you to see some things differently, having to watch from that side?
Yeah, no, I was definitely more active in the dugout and with the guys, just trying to cheer everybody up, especially the people who were kind of like playing in the infield. We had Spencer at second, and he's a freshman. I was in those shoes before too, so he's kind of getting adjusted. So just talking with him, approach, defense, all that type of stuff. But yeah, like you said, Tuck, I mean, Tuck was the man for me, so I was trying to just do my best Tuck impersonation. And although he was always on the field playing shortstop and hitting, I was just trying to be Tuck in the dugout when I wasn't hitting.
This past week was obviously a special one for a number of reasons, but before we get into those things, I want to talk about a special maybe home stretch for you in the fact that you were just letting the home runs fly. Last week you had the one against Penn State with the nasty bat flip that came after it. You had one to center in Game 2 against Kansas State, and then of course the one that went over the WVU bullpen there. If you had to pick out of those 3 home runs from the last week, which one would you say is like peak JJ Wetherholt, I want to be remembered by the home crowd from this home run?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The one in the building was really cool. I think I did a little bit too much after I hit it, though. I kind of just blacked out, and I've never really done that before, so that was cool. But probably just the one to center field, I think, was the better swing, and that one was kind of just like I hit it, was excited, didn't really do any showboating or anything, and just kind of put the bat down and was excited to be back with my teammate when I crossed home. So I go with that one.
I know you and I had talked about this a little bit after that Kansas State finale on Sunday. And of course, you know, everything was about Coach Mazie this weekend, his final home series as the WVU skipper. But as we kind of talked about, even though it was potentially, most likely, the last home game for you as well. You liked having all of that attention, so to speak, on Maisie, because you had said it kind of took that pressure off of you a bit.
Yeah, for sure. It just allowed me to play. I don't really think anybody even thought like, oh, maybe this is JJ's last game. Maybe some people after it, maybe some of the really invested fans thought, but I don't really think it was a big deal, which is great for me just because, like I said, it distracted me and it allowed me to just play for Coach and put on a good performance.
Coach had told us after the game when he was talking about you that he called you a once-in-a-lifetime kind of player, and he said it was more special to him that you and he would essentially get to go out together. Have you thought about that at all, or just what does that mean to you hearing that from Randy Maisie?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's the man. It's great to hear, but I remember in the beginning of the year when he kind of told us that he was this was going to be his last year, like, I kind of thought of it like that too. I was like, oh, you know, I'll get to be the skip for his last year, and it'll probably be my last year depending on how things go. But I thought it was a cool moment. It's a chance for us to kind of just make a good run and have a great finish to his career and a great finish to our year. So, you know, hearing him say that makes me happy.
Now, of course, still more games left to be played. West Virginia closes out the regular season this weekend at TCU. Still have the Big 12 tournament and, of course, the postseason coming up. But in case we don't get to see you and talk to you really after that, JJ, it's been such a pleasure having you here. We remember you coming in as a little freshman third baseman, and now here you are and potentially going to go on to do big things in the MLB. So it's been a lot of fun watching you, and we appreciate all the time you've given us over the years, too.
Thank you. It's been awesome.
West Virginia junior shortstop JJ Wetherholt here with us on the WVU Coaches Show. Whenever we come back, we'll have our exclusive check-in with the skipper.